For the past 6 months, this has been my spare time. Ripping carpet, pulling nails, painting walls, creating an art studio. I started thinking about creating an art studio 12 years ago, bought this house a couple years ago, and began renovating the space not long after. I thought I'd be done a lot earlier because, well, let me show you. This is the type of studio that I love. It's beautiful, spacious, and functional. This is Voka, one of Austria's greatest living artists.
Ein Bild von Voka.
And the reason I wanted to build an art studio in the first place. He and his wife own this studio and he paints full-time for a living. He splits his time between his gallery in Austria and his beach house in Greece.
Ligger in Wiener Neustadt in die Schule gegangen, in die HTL und war dann eben immer in der Bibliothek und haben die alten Meister angesehen.
His paintings can easily sell for tens of thousands of dollars, and he paints them in a matter of a few hours or days. 6 years ago, something really cool happened to me. Let me see, hang on a second. There it is. July 3rd, 2018. Roughly 24 hours of travel, a bus to Chicago, a plane from Iceland, a stop in Paris, a visit to the Louvre, Vienna, Austria, and some help from some locals. And I was there. Right here to be exact. This is where the studio's at. Puchberg am Schneeberg, Austria. 5,125 miles from home in Springfield, Missouri.
This part's really cool. Very nice space.
Most people never get to do something like this. Fly across the world, hang out with one of their favorite artists for a couple hours on a private studio tour. But I was lucky. I got to. And I was ready to ask some questions. I was there to find out how he does it. This was the moment I thought, I've made it. I'm finally here. I'm finally going to get the answers. I'm finally going to figure out how he paints.
Yeah, I've seen this studio a lot on YouTube.
Yeah, sure.
It's cool to see it in person.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
A lot of people saw it on YouTube,
Yeah,
actually.
it's true.
Because I could be here every day, 10 hours, explaining how I paint, and what I'm doing, and I really don't do it. I stopped doing my seminars because I just can't stand the questions anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't want to talk about paintings anymore. Let's say
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
In your case, it's different. Came such a long way, and you're an art teacher and stuff.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
a nice guy. We speak English, so
Yeah,
it's
which is
a
nice.
lot different. There's a
Yeah.
big difference. But usually, I don't do that. Or even yesterday, a couple of days ago, someone was asking from Germany, and they say, "Okay, we come. I'm a painter, and they want to really make an appointment with Peter." I don't talk to them. Petra's doing it.
Yeah.
Petra said, "No, you can come to the studio. The studio is open, but he's not here."
Yeah.
Because I could spend all day just talking with people. I don't want to.
Okay, I'll keep it really short. I'll ask like 2 more questions.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
What advice would you give to an aspiring artist? If you were to give them any advice or anything they need to know?
The first thing is, if they really like art and if they really want to be successful in what they're doing, they have to find their own style. They should not copy anybody else. Don't copy me, because then you will be always a very bad copy of the original. Try to find your own stuff, your own style. But the advice, if you want to become an artist, if you like art, find your own style. Copy some artists you like, but don't stick with the copy. Try to find your own. I never copy anybody. I did 2 copies of paintings in my life, and I did about 3,000 paintings. And this was an old still life from a guy from Belgium, from the 16th century, because someone actually asked me to do that, and I knew how to do it, and it was commission work, money for that. So I did a flower painting from a guy. But this was the only thing. And even when I did paintings like in the style of Salvador Dali, like surrealism and stuff, I never was copying a painting of Salvador Dali. I always just looked at it how he did it, and then I did my own thing. So this is the advice, because there's so many people copying my stuff and someone else, and I think this is really bad.
I guess another question I was going to ask, what's your favorite part about your job, about what you do?
What's my favorite part of my job, actually? I like the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I always like to paint, and I still like to paint. After 30 years, it's still the same feeling like 30 years ago. This is actually a nice thing. I can do it as long as I want, if I don't get blind, let's say like this, as I told you. That's a nice thing. Also, it's comfortable that it's successful, you know, that makes it a lot more easier. But there's nothing special for me with that, because I never did anything else, you know. I never had a decision that I had a job before and now I have to decide, now I'm only an artist. And so for me, there was never a decision. I finished school and I was painting all the time, and then, you know, step by step I was making money already out of it, actually. So there was no big thing, actually. Now I'm an artist, and before I was this, and I hope I will survive. For me, there was never a plan B, let's say. No, it's just my life. So even if people always say, oh, this is so special because you're an artist, so it's not special, you know. I don't know anything else. What I know, you know, that like an electrician, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's been 6 years since that trip and 3 years since I quit my teaching job to become a full-time artist. When you're on the outside looking in at a career, you see all the glamour of what you think it will be. But when you're in it, you're just figuring out what works. Since becoming a full-time artist, I've done a lot of jobs: painting, drawing, graphic design, illustration, writing a book, consulting on another book, and murals, among other things. I think a lot less about the glamour now and more about the space. How do I carve out the space in my schedule? What kind of space are my clients working with? What are their needs? A nice art studio isn't an ending, it's a start. Oh yeah, and this is what my studio room looked like before. And this is what it looks like now. I've ripped up the carpet, pulled out all the nails, one went through my thumb in the process, painted the subfloor white, painted the closet doors, and sold my futon. And this is a scale model I built to show what I'm hoping it will look like when it's finished. Beautiful, spacious, and functional.